Hey, what's going on guys, WingsOfEnd here and welcome back to another Redstone tutorial. And today guys, I have yet another 3x3 door for you. So if you guys are excited for this video, make sure to drop a like down below and subscribe if you're new. And without further ado, let's get right into today's video. I kinda lost the track of how many doors we made, but I have a long list of 3x3 doors and other doors as well. We're just adding another one to the list. You can see this one looks really cool, and the reason I absolutely love this door is because of the actual opening. You can see it right here. You can see we have the top layer disappear first, then the middle one, then the bottom one, and again the middle one because we're using the double piston extenders. Again, you can see it. I really like the opening of this door. The closing, not so much, it's pretty basic, you know, just double piston extension and sticky pistons pushing the blocks. But the openings is really cool and I absolutely love this door. As you guys probably suspect, the redstone for this is incredibly simple. Maybe it looks kinda complicated, mainly because we have 3 of the double piston extenders right next to each other, and we also have this set of the sticky pistons right next to it, so it was pretty difficult to actually connect them. But you can see there is a lot of the redstone, but it's actually really simple. All we have is just a tieable double piston extenders right here. We have the sticky pistons over here for the bottom blocks, which are just sticky pistons connected with redstone dust. And we have a little glass tower pretty much carrying the redstone over to the top sticky pistons. Again, they're just sticky pistons, there is nothing going on. This is the only contraption that uses more than one sticky piston. So the double piston extenders are probably the hardest part of this contraption, and you know how easy they are to actually make. You can see there's a lot of the repeaters, redstone going in every direction, so you're probably confused by this, but don't worry, it's really simple and you're gonna see it when we start building. So you can see the redstone is really simple and I'm going to show you how to make it right now. So the blocks we're going to need for this are some block for choice, sticky pistons, observers, redstone dust, redstone repeaters, redstone torches, a lever to actually open our door, and of course glass to carry the redstone over. You can also use slabs, but the glass is a little bit easier to actually place. So the first thing we need to do is actually put in our double piston extenders. We're going to have 3 of them right next to each other, just like so, for the middle blocks. Then what we need to do is grab ourselves some redstone and connect it to the bottom row. And now we can actually add all of the delay. What we want to do is have some of the redstone like so. We want to actually have a little bit of the delay over here. So we're basically going to have 2 repeaters on max tick delay. And we're also going to have 1 repeater without of any delay right there. This block over here is going to be our control block. Basically we need to power and unpower this block to pretty much activate the whole contraption. What we want to do is basically have a repeater right over here and connect this with the redstone dust. And we're basically gonna be having the redstone dust over here to pretty much connect the actual door to the lever that we're gonna have right here when we actually finish the build. But of course we need to finish our double piston extender. We need to go to the back side right here and build some of the blocks just like so, 1 block above of the actual sticky pistons. And we're also going to need another row right there. So just go ahead and do something like this, 3 blocks right there, and you can see we're gonna have the spacing between the block and the top sticky piston, and this is where we actually need to put in our redstone torches. Then behind of the block where the redstone torches are, we're going to need 2 blocks each, so just go ahead and build something like that. Over here we're going to need a block with the redstone torch, and we're also going to need 1 observer right over here pointing into that block, so go ahead and do something like that. Then we need to carry the redstone from this block right here. So go ahead, have another repeater right there without any delay. And pretty much lead it right here. To actually have the observer detecting the redstone, we need a repeater on max tick delay. Otherwise, it's not going to be enough time for the observer to actually detect it and send 2 signals instead of the 1. So grab ourselves the redstone, place it in front of the face of the observer. And we're also going to need another repeater pointing into the block where the torch is. And pretty much connect them with the redstone dust like so. Now to finish this we need to have a row of the redstone dust like so, and repeaters leading into the blocks where the torches are to pretty much deactivate them. The reason we actually need repeaters over here instead of having the redstone dust right there is because you can see if you just have it, it's just going to blink until it stops the redstone torch. So we need to use the repeaters for that without of any delay. And you can see if you actually grab yourself the lever, go ahead, place it right here, you're gonna see we have the double piston extension and the double piston retraction like so. We're going to have this on for the time being because we want to put in our blocks. Then we need to have a couple more of these sticky pistons just like so. What we want to do is basically have them right there. go ahead and place 3 of them right next to each other, and what we need to do is actually grab ourselves the block for choice, have 3 pieces over here and connect it with the redstone dust just like so, and again you can place the block for choice for the door. You can see the last thing we need to do is actually connect these blocks right here. So we're gonna have again 3 blocks of the iron, and you can see we have a 3x3 door. Grab ourselves the block of our choice, build 3 blocks out, 1, 2, 3, destroy the first 2, and again have the row of the sticky pistons pointing down, just like so, and you can basically destroy this block right there. Now what we need to do is pretty much carry the redstone from this to the top of the sticky pistons. The way we're actually going to connect them is by having some of the blocks right here, and we're going to use our glass and put it to good use. What we're gonna do is have a glass right over here, you can see where the redstone meets. We're gonna have a piece of redstone dust on top of it and basically carry the signal over all the way to the top. Just like so, build some of the blocks over here and pretty much connect the top pistons, just like so. You can see we are pretty much finished with the whole redstone. If we press the lever, we're going to get a really nice opening. The first thing that's gonna happen is these pistons are going to activate, then the double piston extender is going to kick into action, then these sticky pistons, and we are pretty much going to finish with the double piston retraction. And again you can see the opening right here. I really like the look of the opening of this door. I'm probably gonna be using it in some of my survival worlds. But pretty much all that's left to do for us is pretty much cover up the redstone, create a little platform for us, and pretty much decide where we actually want to have the lever. To actually have the lever anywhere or any other kind of the redstone input, you just need to carry the redstone over here to this point right there to connect the whole contraption. And you can see it still may look complicated, but it's really simple to set up. You don't even have to understand it, just follow the actual tutorial. So let me build around the redstone, make this look a little bit better. When you cover up all of the redstone, you can decide where you actually want to have your lever. I'm just gonna have it right there, so we're gonna destroy the block, have a block underneath, and pretty much carry the redstone over just like so. Pretty much go ahead and carry it to that block right there, which is the heart of the actual machine because it powers everything. So let's just go ahead, replace the block and actually put in our lever, and we can pretty much go ahead and give this a test. If it works, you can see all of the pistons are going to fire up. But of course there is some of the blocks missing to the side, so we're pretty much going to fill this in. I like to have the iron blocks over here because it makes it look like a seamless door. Of course you can use the same type of the block that you're using for the door, it doesn't have to be iron blocks. But you can see right here we have the redstone and I want to have a 2x2 ring of the actual iron blocks. So we're just gonna destroy these blocks and pretty much have the iron blocks instead. And pretty much grab the redstone and just replace it, I mean it's not really that big of a deal. And from here we can pretty much grab any block and pretty much extend this over here as far as we want. Well, you kinda have to go a bit far to actually cover up all of this redstone, but it's going to give you a nice tunnel. And don't worry about the glass over here because none of the blocks are actually gonna be touching that. So just go ahead and finish your tunnel. And it should look something like that. You can see there is no visible pistons or anything like that, but if you press the lever we're gonna have a really nice door over here. Again, I really like the opening and I pretty much can't get enough of this. I spent like 10 minutes or so just closing and opening the door over here because it's so fun. But yeah guys, that's gonna be all there is for this video. If you guys have enjoyed it, make sure to drop a like down below and subscribe if you're new. If you think any of your friends would enjoy this type of content, make sure to share with them. But as always, I really hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.